Hey everyone, today I'm doing a review on Defy Wrestling, which I've been wanting to do more like indie shit, like indie wrestling, because there's a lot of independent wrestling out there, a lot. But this is an indie event for Defy Wrestling called Defy Death Rider, and you can follow them at Defy NW. And then this was on like the Remix Network with a W. I don't know. It was like I was watching pay-per-view, but it happened like so many days before. But I was watching it all. It was for free, so whatever. I'm gonna go over the matches here. I don't know very many of these names, so maybe you do. I'll try my best. On commentary was Ricky Gibson and Rich Bossini, which, I mean, they didn't sound bad. But first match, it was a fatal four-way: Evan Rivers versus Clark Connors, the Wild Rhino versus Ethan HD versus Guillermo Rosas. And that Guillermo seemed like a favorite because he came out to Old Town Road and everyone was cheering him on. Connors was putting his hands down his pants in disrespect. It was weird. Connors spearing a guy into everyone outside the ring. Connors is a part of the Bullet Club, I guess. The Fatal 4-Way, I guess there's no DQ, so they're just fighting outside the ring in the auditorium and shit. Ethan jumped off the stage at one point towards the ring of the auditorium they were in. Ethan HD apparently was a last-minute replacement. They're all beating on Guillermo. They're taking turns on him. Rivers keeps turning his back on whoever helps him. Rivers tries to roll up Ethan. Now they're fighting. Guillermo starting to make his comeback. Guys did a superplex off each other. And then, what is it? Guillermo started to make comeback. Superplex. The guys did a superplex off each other's back, then a DDT, and everyone's down. And Guillermo's clotheslining everyone out of the ring. Guillermo's doing a lap around the ring, hitting everyone with clotheslines. Guillermo hits a pile driver, and the two guys break up the count. Guillermo Samoan drops two guys at the same time. Rivers hits a cutter on Guillermo, then a moonsault on Guillermo. Connors comes in and spikes suplex brainbusters everyone and pins Guillermo for the win. Yeah, I guess so. Clark Connors wins. That's what I wrote here, because Fatal 4-Ways are so hard to keep up with, especially for people that I don't know. I don't really know their ring names or anything. The crowd is upset, and he's rubbing his dick a lot because he won, Clark Connors. So that's what I wrote here. Next, for the Women's Championship, the Defy Women's Championship, Billie Starks, who is making her Defy debut at 18, versus Vert Vixen. And I think Vert Vixen came out to some Street Fighter music. She's very video game gimmick based, and I like that because I like video games, whatever. They're both crowd favorites. The crowd is loving both of them. They're just taunting on the turnbuckles. They do some goofy dancing, but now they're grappling. Vert Vixen apparently is a producer for Remnant 2. Billie Starks looks like all her gear is a bunch of hand-me-downs from other female wrestlers. Nice sliding elbow into the corner by Vert Vixen. Billie with a comeback and a very nice German suplex. Billie tried off the top ropes to nothing. Vert with a fireman's carry to a slam. Billie elbowing the back of Vert's head and then Vert sends Billie outside. Vert does two not very good looking suicide dives. They didn't really look good. Vert gets what she calls the Red Ring of Death slam on Billie, which is pretty funny. Billie barely kicks out. Now they're both doing dueling kicks. Billy hits a roundhouse, gets up Vert in a tombstone. Vert barely kicks out of that tombstone. It looked good too. Billy's going for a swanton bomb, but took too long. Vert goes up, superplexes Billy, and then rolls her up into another suplex, pins her, and then wins. And Vert holds up Billy's arms in respect. They're both showing each other that respect. The crowd is chanting, "Please come back, please come back." So it was an alright match, like for it being, you know, I don't want to say a women's match, but to me it was a lot more entertaining than that 4-way before, you know, and a lot of these other matches. Next is Titus Alexander versus Trans Williams versus Cody Chun versus Schaff. And this is another fatal 4-way, and it's like, Jesus, like, these are hard to keep track of. The baddest motherfucker in wrestling, Schaff, is beating everyone up. Crowd is cheering for Schaff. Schaff did a flip dive on everyone outside, hanging out together, conveniently. Schaff is putting everyone on chairs. Williams is doing a dive to everyone on the outside except Schaff caught him, and then Schaff caught another dude, but then Titus jumped and knocked everyone down. Schaff is getting chopped by everyone, but has chopping everyone down. Then all three super kick Schaff. So Schaff is like the powerhouse in all this. Like, they just keep beating him up. They all do the spot where they get a guy on the top ropes and double suplex, but then Schaff grabs the two guys that are gonna superplex that one dude and power bombs them all. Evan Rivers comes out and gives the belt to one of the dudes, and they hit Schaff, but he kicks out of that. Everyone hits their special on Schaff. He's out of the ring. The Chinese dude, classic Cody Chun, gets a dude in a tilt-a-whirl. What is this here? Tilt-a-whirl something into his knees. Like, he tilt-a-whirls the guy's ribs onto his knees and wins. And now Cody Chun is shaking hands with Schaff. He'll go on to face Clark Connors, and then he sneak attacks Cody in the ring with a spear. Guillermo comes out to save the Chinese dude. I don't know, man. Like, these fatal 4-ways are fucking, they're just a mess. Like, especially with this talent that I have no idea who they are. Next match is Miles Deville with Tara Zepp versus Curry Man. Curry Man, the King of Spice, Curry Man. Why hasn't Tony Khan signed this dude yet? Is what I'm wondering. Curry Man is kind of doing like a Blue Meanie dance thing. He keeps shushing the opponent. Crowd is chanting, "He's so spicy." I don't know. This seems very racist. They do a tightrope walk spot. Curry Man gets the girl to knock the dude off the ropes and uses her head to headbutt him in the nuts. Curry Man is making a comeback. Curry Man gets him in a pedigree bomb and then submits him. And people are saying he might be Christopher Daniels, that Curry Man. And I'm like, I don't know. Next are the Billington Bulldogs versus the tag team champions, the Bollywood Boys. And the crowd really loves these Bollywood Boys. And they're actually pretty entertaining. This crowd is hating the Bulldogs, just booing them, talking shit about England. And I agree with them. England does suck. England's terrible. Apparently, these are like the nephews of the Dynamite Kid, and they look like jobbers. They're real skinny looking with really no personality, you know. Suicide dives and flying drop kicks to the outside by the White Boys. Bollywood Boys get a superplex, rallying for the hot tag. They got the hot tag. One of the cameramen at this point, I'm looking at him and he looks like a dude I went to high school with. And I wanted to see if it was like in the credits, but I forgot about checking that. They're all out of the ring on the floor. One of the Bulldogs did a moonsault off the ropes to a guy on the outside while a dude was going for a pile driver. The Bollywood reversed it into sort of a Hurricane Rana pin, and he won it. They won it. The Bollywood Boys. The Bollywood Boys retain. They shake everyone's hands. They all hug. Everyone goes, "Yeah, aw." It's a great moment. But the Bollywood Boys were actually pretty good. I'd say not those Dynamite kids, the Bulldog, whatever, Billington Bulldogs, but the Bollywood Boys were good. They had a lot of energy, and they were a lot like that women's match. Like they knew how to, like, I mean, the crowd was excited for everything, but to me they looked like they actually cared about wrestling, you know? To me, anyways. The main event, Jon Moxley versus Artimis Spencer. Wild Thing plays, of course. Wild Thing, you make my heart sing. And then I said they said his name wrong. They said Jon Moxley. They're supposed to say Jon Moxley. But yeah, I don't know if this is an anything goes match. I have no idea. It doesn't say. That dude hits Moxley with a chair, does a swanton onto the outside onto a chair, onto Moxley. Now they're fighting in the crowd. Even the commentators are saying they don't think this is a no DQ match, but with Moxley, it's anything goes, you know, because that's all he can do. Moxley bites the dude's forehead, and now that Artimis is bleeding, Moxley is biting him some more. The crowd is cheering, "You sick fuck," because he is a sick fuck, Moxley. Moxley superplexes him off the top ropes. Moxley's just kicking him around. Artemis is making a comeback. They're trading shots. Moxley with a move of some sort, and Artemis gets a German suplex. And then he gets booted out of the ring, and Moxley does a weird dive out of the ring. The crowd is shouting, "This is awesome," even though it's not very awesome, really isn't. Moxley hits a cutter. Moxley grabs a chair. Artemis gets it around Moxley's neck and kicks him. He gets the Artie driver. Artemis comes off the top ropes and splashes on him. Moxley catches him and elbows the shit out of him until the ref has to stop the match because of all those elbows, and he can't defend himself. And Moxley wins. And then they play Wild Thing. And then Moxley says how great Defy wrestling is and all that. And the crowd, no, he was talking a lot of great things about the crowd. And the crowd was really hyped for it. But as far as this event goes, again, the best matches, maybe the girls, Billie Starks and Vert Vixen. And then the Bollywood Boys were put on a good show. But everything else, it wasn't all that. I didn't really feel for, I don't know. It wasn't that good. It wasn't. I'm glad it was free when I watched it. But yeah, I mean, I'll still watch Defy Wrestling. They seem like a good company. It's just the way these matches are put together. I don't know. It's way more choreographed than it should be, or at least it looks that way. But let me know what you think about Defy Wrestling, whatever. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review. Tell me in the comments whatever you want to say. And thank you all for watching. We'll keep doing shit because I just have nothing else to do. But yeah, take care. Bye.